Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/PettyRevenge. In today's episode, my mom hired 2 kids to beat up my childhood bully. My new downstairs neighbor made the manager harass me. I hope he likes being woken up at 2 a.m. every night. Stranger put their clothing in with ours. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. My mom hired 2 kids to beat up my childhood bully. Sorry this is long, but there's some background that is important to the story. So this happened when I was in 3rd grade, F, and my childhood bully, M, was in the same class and lived in the same neighborhood as me but failed 2 grades. That's important because imagine how much bigger he'd be than me. We lived in townhouse condos in the 80s, so not many people had AC, so most people left their doors open and left their screen doors shut. So one day I was walking to my friend's condo to see if she could come out to play, and I hear some screaming and pounding, and I just happened to look because it startled me when I see his little sister fly across the room. I go back home and call my mom, and of course she calls CPS and the 5 kids get taken away. But this is the 80s, and back then it was common to just promise you won't do it again and get your kids back, so they'd been taken away multiple times. Well, when he got back he somehow found out my mom called CPS, so at the bus stop before school he sucker punched me. I was down on the ground. Everyone saw it, but I didn't say anything to anyone. Our teacher happened to be a close friend of my mom, and her husband works with my dad, so if I said something my parents would have found out instantly. We get home and a kid goes straight to his mom and our backyards connect, so he says Opie got sucker punched by bully at the bus stop this morning. She calls my mom and my mom goes to the worst area of Detroit, hires 2 kids the same age as him for $20 each to come and beat him up, and told him not to even look at me again. Then drops them back off. That's how Italians deal with things. Edit, OMG, I can't believe this blew up like it did. Thanks everyone who gave kudos to my mom for having my back. To add on, I didn't know my bully was beat up by the 2 kids until years later. I thought the bruises were from his parents. I didn't know why he stopped harassing me. For you people who only comments are about my grammar, get over yourself. And yes, I lived in a suburb of Detroit, so my mom drove a 1/2H, or meaning to only hire 1, but the other kid said I want in on this, so she said okay, come on. She literally hired them for their first mercenary job. Not gonna lie, but this would be my plan of action if any child of mine got bullied. Oh, and I'm Italian, lol. The only true way to deal with a bully is to beat the shit out of him or have someone else do it. None of this you can be friends if you talk it out bullshit. Why would I want my kid to be friends with a piece of shit like that? No, those bastards only understand the words of the fist. Don't give a shit that their home situation is hard and complicated. My new downstairs neighbor made the manager harass me. I hope he likes being woken up at 2 a.m. every night. I've lived in the same apartment with my boyfriend for almost 4 years. It's not the best apartment, but I love the location. I've never really had any problems here. I'm a quiet neighbor that stays to myself. My new downstairs neighbor has made several stupid complaints. Like complaints me running my garbage disposal. But the most recent one was ridiculous. He went and told management that there's been issues with my balcony. I got a call last week asking if I've been throwing anything over my balcony. I told the manager absolutely not. There's plants down below, so I had dumped a water bottle off into the plants before, but that's not harming anyone. Because of this call, I went out to my balcony to investigate. I noticed my flower vase had fallen over and some water may have spilled down. Not too big of a deal. There wasn't too much water in the vase when the wind knocked it over. I think this is the end of that silly complaint, but I was wrong. The weekend passes and I get a nasty notice on my door. The notice said pet violation for not picking up after my dog, $50 fine. And stating I'm at risk of getting my lease terminated because of my violations. The only problem is, I don't have a dog. I emailed the property manager and said I do not have a dog. Therefore, I'm not paying this fine. She sends back a ridiculous email stating that she's received several complaints. I only have one downstairs neighbor about urine coming from my balcony, so she assumed I was letting my dog, that I don't have, pee on my balcony. Then she says since I don't have a dog, that means me or my boyfriend are peeing on our balcony, and that I'm still in violation of my lease. This was just comical at this point. My boyfriend and I have never done this. We've never had any complaints in our 4 years here. It just so happens as soon as I got a new downstairs neighbor, the complaints came rolling in. Here's where the petty revenge kicks in. I work night shift, so I don't go to bed until around 6 a.m. Every morning around 6 a.m. I hear my new neighbor leaving for work. My boyfriend and I decided to incorporate a new 2 a.m. workout when I get home from work, consisting of jumping jacks, running in place, and all sorts of fun stuff just for my lovely downstairs neighbor. I've informed the leasing office that I won't be renewing my lease in December due to this. The next 3 months for my new neighbor is going to be hell. I hope he enjoys it. Your property manager needs a reality check. A good tenant for 4 years versus a new tenant who goes reporting crazy over nothing and non-existent things. Enjoy your 2 a.m. workouts. I bet the property manager has a personal connection with the downstairs loon. Have you and your boyfriend considered online tap dancing classes? Fun to do at home at 2 a.m. I used to vacuum my bathroom in the middle of the night. Good echo. If you two are involved in any sort of physical intimacy, I've heard that really vocalizing your enjoyment can make it a lot better. I hope you keep your apartment clean. Don't forget to vacuum often. Stranger put their clothing in with ours. Didn't think I'd have a good enough petty story, but this happened a few hours ago. Mild revenge. Put laundry in an apt complex washing machine and went to go do errands, assuming they would be ready for the dryer when we got back. Come back and see that the washer we swore we started says it has 30 minutes left. Odd. Turned out someone who had a small handful of underwear and shirts decided on the bright idea of mixing their laundry in with ours and rerunning the cycle. Ended up sorting through the soaking wet pile to find ours, strained the water back into the machine, and threw their clothing back in the water with lid open so it won't run. If we have to now run 2 dryer cycles since someone decided on this brilliant plan, we can at least delay them getting their clothing done longer. We did think about even more petty options like putting their clothing outside, but Complex has cameras outside, so we decided against it. I would have taken the entire load. Me. Yep. That's my revenge. Thought it was all mine when I got back to my apt, forgot I had such shitty stuff, so I threw it out. Long ago, as a young sailor, I was doing laundry one weekend. The laundromat was conveniently beside a bar. During my drying cycle, someone threw in several nice sets of working uniforms to dry with mine. I got to them before him and was driving off when he chased me out of the parking lot. Same size as me, I put on new name patches and didn't need new ones for a few months, lol. This happened to us a few weeks ago at the laundromat. Hubby saw this girl watching our washer hard and thought she wanted it once we were done. But when he saw her watching our dryer, he figured she slipped something in there. We usually sit in the car while our cycles run, but he stood right there until the dryer finished and pretended he didn't notice the girl watching him in horror as he stuffed all of the clothes into the basket. I found 3 panties, a bra, and a pair of booty shorts that were definitely not mine in that load. I threw them in a trash bag. I took the clothes back to the laundromat the week after and left the bag on a table with a note saying that we found them in our dryer. Ick if the owner ever found them, and I don't really care. Times are hard for all of us, but have some decency. In college, my irresponsible self forgot about a load of laundry in the dryer. Next day I ran down panicked that it was stolen, or worse, as I didn't have money to buy new clothes. Found all my laundry was folded neatly on top of the dryer with my sexiest panties at the very top and a note with a phone number. At the time I was freaked out that someone touched and was probably turned on by my panties. 20+ years later, I think I should have met that mystery person. I mean, if they took that much care folding a stranger's clothes, who knows what else they could have been good at. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.